Joao Felix seemingly here. And
medical
we make
today.
an announcement today.
Yeah, medical today for him. I mean, again,
but he's not a 9.
He's not a 9, and I still think he's a big risk. I mean, is he one of those players, Joao Felix, who there was a lot of hype about when he first burst onto the scene? Is he any better now than he was when he first announced himself, or was that the peak of Joao Felix? I think this is a move that comes with big risk attached for Chelsea. Why does a manager of the calibre of Diego Simeone not want Joao Felix at his football club? That's
is it all
ask.
about not wanting him, or is there a little bit of the financial? They need to get him off the wage bill for a bit and take some money in, because there's a lot of financial problems at Atletico.
Could be.
What I look at it, if you take away the money for a second, just purely on a football, because I don't know enough about the finances, I would have him ahead of Ziyech. I'd have him ahead of Pulisic. I'd probably have him ahead of Havertz, to be honest, but they are quite similar, so that's a debate.
Yeah.
But he will improve their options, but only in wide areas. I mean, he'll keep the ball. He goes past people. Really, he's got beautiful technique, nice balance. He glides with the ball, very strong. He's got magical talent.
But Chelsea need goals. That's the whole point.
But
of
if
this,
you need
isn't
goals, then play the person in your squad who's got the most goals.
You've actually just highlighted the problem for me at Chelsea, though, because you've listed 3 players there who've played under various different managers. They're on big wages. They've been signed for big money. You can chuck Timo Werner into the mix as well, Lukaku. Chelsea's recruitment for what, 4 years, has been utterly dreadful.
Well, yeah, but then again, you could argue that when, for example, Lukaku, I mean, we all know what his qualities are. Even though he started badly or he did a stupid interview, whatever the complexities were, he's a hell of a striker. Stick him in the team, work with him, coach him properly, build the team around him, and then you've got a goal scorer.
Yeah, but it's never going to work here, was it?
Why?
That's why he's no longer here.
Why though?
Well, it didn't work at Manchester United. It didn't work when he came back to Chelsea. And actually, maybe again, that's the point with Aubameyang. Is the Premier League now just too good for Aubameyang and for Lukaku? Because they'll score goals elsewhere.
No, I think
Aubameyang did it in Spain. Lukaku does it in Italy. But do they get found out in the Premier League?
I think it's just about building. Every player needs the right people around them to get the best out of them. You can't tell me Haaland in Chelsea's team right now is going to be scoring the same amount of goals.
I think he'd be scoring more than they are.
Yeah, because he's a super talent, but not as many as he is. My point is that you can only be as good in football as the players around you. And unfortunately, someone like Aubameyang or Lukaku, for that matter, relies on service.
So what about Joao Felix coming in then to Chelsea? Cascarino in the Times this morning, Danny. In Felix, Chelsea have signed a really talented, technical, skillful player.
Yep.
He can play in the left as a number 10, but he's joining Chelsea, a team in which it's hard to score at this time. His goal-scoring numbers are not impressive. I mean, at the end of the day, welcome, Joao, but are you the right fit? Maybe not at this time. Wrong player, wrong time. Getting someone who can put the ball in the back of the net, no?
Well,
that's what Chelsea need.
We'll have to wait and see, because I think what he'll do, he's quite brave, Felix. He doesn't really mind making mistakes. He takes people on. He takes the ball in difficult areas. You need someone to feed the goal scorer. I take your point about having a goal scorer, but you need someone. A lot of those Chelsea players at the minute are playing safe.
Mason Mount, would you put him in that category?
A little bit. He's a bit low on confidence. I mean, he has set himself such high standards, to be fair to him. I wouldn't worry about Mount. I think if you leave him in, he'll come through it, because he's that tenacious. And
You're saying Aubameyang, there's your man. Give it to him. He'll score the goals.
Well, there's no one else in that. I mean, Potter did seem to like Brozier and give him a chance, and he could have been the man, but he's injured, so that's out of the question. If you need a goal scorer, what would you look at if you were in recruitment? You'd go and look at, right, if your remit is a goal scorer, not somebody who looks good and comes to feet and holds the ball up well.
Well, you maybe do what Manchester United are doing. There's one. Wout Weghorst. Get him in. Target man. Are they doing what Chelsea should be doing?
What I'm saying is, if you're head of recruitment at Chelsea and you go to them with a remit of goals, you would go and look for a striker that scores 1 in 2. You've got one. So either in
Aubameyang?
Yeah, if his attitude's wrong, fine, I'll take it on the chin. I don't know. But it's not when I watch him play.
Well, it was obviously wrong at Arsenal towards the end. I think.
Yeah, but he'd proven himself. He'd won things out, scored loads of goals, right? His numbers are there in a half decent side. You could argue this Chelsea side's got more talent than that Arsenal side had. So why isn't he scoring goals? Well, one, he's not playing enough. Every striker needs to play more. Stick him in, leave him in, get the ball to him. Then if you give him 6 starts and you start playing a bit more progressive football and get some balls in the bottom, balls in behind, and ask the midfielders to take some risks, if he's not scoring, fine, I'll take it.
But Danny, it stands out a mile. He goes missing in games. He's the sub who's subbed.
All good strikers go missing in games because they play the role properly. Haaland stays high, plays the role well, goes missing for 15 minutes, still scores 2, scores 3. The best strikers don't always look great on the eye because they're keeping the length of the game. You've got to stay high and play as a striker. One of the problems Chelsea got when you play a Havertz is a false 9. So everybody's coming to the ball. Look, Chelsea fans might agree and might disagree. They haven't seen enough of him, really. He's got to start enough. For me, if you need a striker to score you goals, you've got one, put him in, give him a run, get the ball to him. If he doesn't produce, then fine. But I saw him against Man City at home making so many good runs without receiving the ball that he probably got to a point where he's like, well, I'm just running around it. He's not going to hold the ball up like a Giroud. He's not a Harry Kane who can come in and nobody can get the ball off him. I mean, Harry Kane's one of the best in the world. We can't compare.
Are you happy, Alex, that Manchester United are going down the number 9 route, seeking out Weghorst?
Listen, if Erik Ten Hag wasn't the manager, I'd be very sceptical and cynical about this deal. But I think Erik Ten Hag has earned the right now that the Manchester United fans put their faith in him. Obviously, they're working under strict financial parameters. The owners don't want to spend any money because the club is up for sale. So this is probably the best they can do in a January transfer window.
I think it's quite cute.
Yeah, Danny's talking about a 1-in-2 ratio. If you take away his Burnley career, I think Weghorst averages 1-in-2, and he was good for the Netherlands at the World Cup. So I'm willing to take a chance.
The other thing with Weghorst as well is that he gives them something different.
Yeah.
He was a big lad.
Yeah.
Gets some crosses in the box.
But you'd say, regards Chelsea, Danny, panic over. You've got Aubameyang.
No,
there's your number 9.
The panic's not over because there's so many things wrong there. So many players playing under with so little confidence. The biggest problem Chelsea have at the minute, when I watch them, is they're not progressive in their play. They're playing out from the back at times against the City side who press so well, losing the ball constantly, and deciding, you know what, we've got to mix our play up a bit. It's all well and good playing out from the back on occasion against certain opposition, but you've got to mix your game up.
Yeah.
Too easy to play against.
Okay.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.